Welcome back to Primetime News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com.
A reminder as well that you can download our One Spot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1 followed by the word spot and media.
Concerns are being raised about the infiltration of Chinese construction firms in the market for private jobs.
The concern is being raised by the former president of the Incorporated Master Builders Association of Jamaica, Carville Stewart, who says that Chinese firms have an unfair advantage in seeking work in the private sector.
TVJ's business editor, Dashan Hendricks, has been tracking this issue and now reports.
They are here to do public work on projects such as the expansion of the Mandela Highway in St. Catherine and Marcus Garvey Drive in Kingston. On those projects, the Chinese came with the financing.
The Chinese entrance into our industry came with loans from China.
Carville Stewart is the former president of the Incorporated Master Builders Association of Jamaica, an association of operators in the construction trade. He says while his association welcomes Chinese investments, they are worried that the terms and conditions under which the Chinese came to Jamaica are being used to undermine Jamaican operators in the construction sector.
The government, in seeking the loans and making the concessions, allowed 3 major things that are now being used in competition against the local contractors: duty and GCT entry of equipment and goods, and a concession of 50% of the labor that is engaged on the construction jobs that the Chinese are engaged on by the government.
And while he says he has his complaints about how the labor on the sites is apportioned,
there is nobody counting 50-50. And invariably, any quick glance at a Chinese project, you will see more Chinese on it than Jamaicans.
he has perhaps a bigger concern. Mr. Stewart says that the Chinese are extending themselves from public works, using the duty concessions given to bring in equipment and the price advantage it gives them to undercut bids on projects in the private sector by local construction firms, some by up to 30%. Jamaican companies which do not have the cost advantage are pushed out of the market.
They are now doing major construction for entities that are not associated with government, which normally would have been done by our local contractors.
The major participants in both the private sector and the public sector are Chinese. Grace Kennedy has just awarded a major contract downtown. They're building a tower to Chinese contractors.
In fact, Grace Kennedy has since said it selected China Senior Farm to build its new corporate headquarters here in downtown Kingston. It said it selected the Chinese firm because it came within 2% of the estimated construction cost of the building. 2 local bidders for the project failed in their bid. A local contractor who declined to be interviewed said the situation is so bad he closed down the construction arm of his company because he couldn't compete with the Chinese. The new Foreign Affairs building in downtown Kingston is also being built by the Chinese, and they too will have a hand in the construction of the new Parliament building.
So if you look around the country, you'll realize that of the perhaps 10 major projects, 6 are perhaps being managed by Chinese, being run by Chinese.
I have written to them to ask that they investigate whether or not it is fair for somebody to be given duty and GCT concessions on equipment and materials and allowed 50% of labor, which is not paid in Jamaica. So we don't know if they're even paid at all. Whether or not that is fair competition.
He said he has also written to Dr. Horace Chang in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation to look into the matter. Tomorrow, we will look at the response of the ministry and the Fair Trading Commission to the concerns. Dashan Hendricks, TVJ News.